I just think Aberdeen, well Scott Sutherland in particular, I think they had the sort of best open day, and that kind of pulled us into thinking, oh this, you know, looks great, the setup, seeing the studios, and we got a wee sort of lecture done for us as well. So I think that just kind of sold us straight off, thinking, yeah, this looks like a great place to study. It was a real eye-opener, kind of that transition between university and actually being in practice, sort of seeing, sort of understanding how things actually work in the real world, and sort of standards and regulations and planning and building warrants, how that works, and this sort of nitty-gritty of it, but at the same time they're really good with the sort of design process. So you were still understanding and applying the tools that you've learned in uni, but they had a more sort of technical grounding on something that could actually be built.
Well, I think we've both been members of the 5710 society for the whole 6 years, and I do think that in itself has always been really good for lectures and cheese and wine afterwards.
I think, especially when you're designing, and you can often feel like you're hitting a rut within your design, but then you go and you see how this architect is dealing with different projects in their practice, and they're real, and it kind of, you know, even if it's not exactly the kind of project that you're looking at, it helps you just get another person's opinion that isn't from someone else just in the room.
Yeah,
it's hard work.
It's definitely hard work.
But fun as well.
I think we said rewarding as well. Was a good one at the end of it. Well, especially, well, hopefully by the end of this year, we'll hopefully have our degrees in that, and I think it'll be worth it, hopefully.
The Scott Sutherland School is one of the oldest schools of architecture in the UK. It's actually third oldest school, so we've been around for a long time. Not that I've actually taught for that length of time, and we've got a very good balance between artistic and technical work. I think as you study architecture, and you can study in architecture in many ways, getting that balance right is very important, because at the end of the day it's about getting a good job. The course is separated into, to study architecture, 3 parts. The students are given a general training. They're given the skills and training they require at the basic level to get up to speed with all the architectural terms, both in design, skills in terms of model making perhaps, or drawing or computer work, and learning about philosophy, as well as all the general other technical issues like environmental issues like sound, light as well. So bringing architecture to life through the first part 1 is what we're trying to do. And then into the part 2, where things get a little bit more specialised. Students have got a 2-year part 2 here in the school, where they are actually then starting to develop their own personal way that they're going to practice as an architect. Students generally will be able to find jobs either locally here with our strong industry as an oil industry around Aberdeen, distinctive place, or more nationally, finding places. Currently London is very busy at the moment, or even further afield, students going as far afield as Southeast Asia and getting employment. We're deliberately of a particular size and scale. We don't like the school to be too big. We like to have to nurture a sort of relationship with students to help foster that learning. Certainly in students, we're looking for somebody who's creative above all else. There are specific requirements in the course, entry requirements in terms of, yes, English language or something like maths or a science, but actually that creativity, that ability to want to be creative, to draw, to make models, is something that we're fundamentally looking for. you will find committed staff who are professional academics, and you'll also find a blend of people who are from practice. So we naturally invite in people who have got recent experience and working directly with the students. So we can bring in consultants, or we'll have part-time staff who have in fact got their own practices as well.